Hello and welcome to episode 86, I believe, of the Stress Knits podcast. I am Stacy, also known as Stress Knits Yarn on Instagram, Stress Knits on Ravelry. I am the dyer behind Stress Knits Yarn. Yeah, that's about it. I'm coming to you from a finally not rainy Metro Detroit, Michigan, and it's hot, it's humid, it's gross. Yeah, it's Friday, and I'm trying my best to take a day off, which is hard when you work at home, but I've just felt really stuck, I think is a good word to use. I don't know how this is gonna go, but we're gonna try it. I feel stuck because I feel like I can't get momentum to get things done, but I feel like things constantly need to be done. But instead of taking the full day, I'm taking most of the day. So like I put yarn out to dry, I'm doing some social media stuff, I'm doing the podcast, I'm uploading a Patreon video today. When Doug comes home, we're taking some pictures for Instagram and all of that jazz. So it is going to be a busy day, but I'm also stopping to drink my coffee. I woke up early and went and got coffee by myself, which is always super nice when Doug's getting Liza ready in the morning before he goes to work, and I just leave for like 10-15 minutes and go grab coffee, because usually I make it myself, but we are out, so I need to make it, and it takes 24 hours, so I gotta do that today. But yeah, so I don't know, I wanted to sit down and chat. I have a finished object and some stuff to show you and stuff about the shop I want to share with you. So let's get into it, and I'll talk more personal stuff at the end. I didn't realize my hair was so crazy, but again, it's humid. It's the end of May in Michigan, which is awful. So if you are from anywhere near West Virginia, think of it as August in West Virginia, and that's it. I went to school in West Virginia, that's why I'm aware of how gross it is in August. Anyway, yeah, so I have a finished object. So Andrea Mowry hosted her Memorial Weekend Cal, her second annual. I hope it's a thing because I love it. And I touched base on it a little bit last week, but I wasn't able to do it last year because I was 7 months pregnant and feeling kind of sluggish and all that stuff, and then my water broke a year from yesterday at 8 weeks to go. So 7 months pregnant, and then so I just never knit it, and it was the Harlow hat last year, and that was my inspiration to start my year of Andrea, which is sadly coming to a close in the next month. So it feels very full circle and it feels very right, but I finished it this year. So she did the Shiftalong hat cal. So you chose one of her 3 mosaic knitting designs. So essentially it's color work. It looks like color work. The inside looks color worky, but you are only using one color at a time and you're slipping stitches. That's all it is. It's super simple. I originally got this yarn for the Ghost Ranch hat that she released because I thought that's what it was going to be. I didn't know she was releasing the Shiftalong hat, and that's what I ended up making is the Shiftalong hat because I didn't feel like doing brioche. So I love it. I used 1 skein of Spin Cycle Verses, which is this gray marl in the slow and steady colorway. I used almost a full skein. I think I have maybe like a 1/5 of the skein left. Yeah. And then I only used maybe 10 grams of the Blip color, which is Wallflower. So I really, really love it. It's just a simple hat. It fits really well. I'm going to make the kid size for Eliza so we have matching hats because I think I have enough yarn. I might switch it. I also have leftover Spin Cycle in other colors that I could use too. So I think I'm going to make her a mini one so we can match, and it's just super sweet and I love it. I have a love affair with Spin Cycle yarn. I think if you are a returning viewer, you know how much I love Spin Cycle because it's just not anything like I can do. It's just so beautiful and it's so much work. So yeah, I love Spin Cycle. It is my kryptonite. Can't help it. Yeah, there's not really much to say about this, but this is the Shiftalong hat pattern by Andrea Mowry, and I finished in time for the cow. So that was really exciting. I did it in about 3 days, and one of those days was a wedding that Doug was in, that he stood up in. So it was a busy day. I still got this done, so I'm really proud of myself. I knit the size small, the adult small, and it fits perfectly. So there is that. I have a lot of progress on my sweaters. So the last time we chatted, I was working on my Nordiska, and I had most of the color work done on the body, and so I finished the color work on the body and the ribbing, and then I steam blocked it, and I really want Doug to take pictures of it at the stage with his fancy camera, so he's gonna do that when he gets home from work today, so I will have pictures posted of this. If you want to hear more about this sweater that I'm about to say, I have an entire 11-minute video going up on my Patreon page about the Nordiska in a new segment called the Whip Down, which I'm really excited to introduce. These will eventually show up on my channel, but not for a while. I just want to give more information about the process of knitting something while I'm knitting it. So I will share with you my favorite project at the moment and just chat with you about it. And right now it's the Nordiska. I love the cable repeat on the raglan. The colors that I chose make me so happy. I'm super happy I followed Jacqueline Salem of the Brooklyn Knit Folk podcast and only did one color on the color work. Really love it. I used my hand-dyed yarn, which is Stress Knits yarn, in my favorite base, which is an 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. It's a high twist, and it's my favorite base. So, yeah, and the first color is Prudence. It's the main color, which was a colorway from my 2018 advent calendar. I've only done one, and I can't remember what year it is anymore. And then the contrast color is my new color, Dahlia. Both of these are in the shop right now for pre-order, but I will talk to you about that at the end of the episode in case you're not interested. So yes, I love this. I love the V-neck. I think the neckband is what I'm going to knit next, so I'll probably pick up those stitches tonight or tomorrow and start work on it. But I love this. I'm going to have a more fitted sleeve. Yeah, it's just amazing, and I steam blocked it, and I love it. I didn't steam block the back. I only steam blocked the front because it's what is being seen. This also just kind of needs to settle down a little bit. But yes, I love it. Nordiska by Caitlin Hunter out of Stress Knits yarn. Love it. There's that. But I think I had the body done last time on my weekender. This is the Weekender by Andrea Mowry. It is one of my May cast-ons because I skipped April on accident. So one of my May cast-ons for my Year of Andrea was my Shiftalong hat, and the other one was my Weekender. And I kind of count this as my April because I dyed the yarn in April with every intention of casting it on. But yeah, so the body is done. Weird stuff happening with the neck, but it's fine. I think I off-centered it somehow, so this seam, this is the back. The back is fine. The front is not. The front seam is a little off-center. It's like 2 stitches off-center, and it drives me nuts, but not enough to reknit it. I'm just going to block it in a way where it might not be noticeable, and also, I don't think anybody but me will notice. Anyway, I finished sleeve number 1. I didn't alternate. I did all my decreases. What was I going to say? This is Stress Knits yarn again. This is going to be a sample for SSK, which is the Super Summer Knit Together that I am vending at. It's my first show vending, and I want a bunch of sweater samples because I think sweaters are such an easy way for you to get the feel of what a yarn is. So lots of sweater samples, which is why it's all I'm working on right now. Yeah, this is the Lake Effect colorway. It's pretty pretty true. It's a very grayed mint, and I love it. Yes, I love this. So one sleeve, I use stitch markers to count my decreases. I picked up like 6 less stitches on the armhole. I couldn't pick them up evenly. So I did a few rounds where I didn't decrease, which is why you see the purple. So I can keep track, and then pinks are the ends, green are decreases. That's my system for this one. So I just need to pick up and knit the second sleeve, and the first sleeve took me a day. It's not that much knitting. It's really not, and it's gonna block out, and I have short arms anyway, so it all works out. But yes, Weekender, Andrea Mowry, huge fan. This is my second one. That's how much I love it. I'm a big fan. So this won't be my last either. I just enjoy it so much that I will for sure knit at least one more, if not 2. It's like the perfect cozy sweatshirt that you knit, and it's wonderful. Does anybody else get super bloated when it's hot outside? Because I feel like a balloon. And it's not that time of the month. It's just, I feel so bloated when it's hot out, and it's been like this since I was a kid, and my fingers feel like sausages, and it's just, all right. I'm trying to like consciously not look like a potato, because I'm always a potato when it's hot. Do you guys feel like that? I don't know. Okay. The last project is the thing that I'm knitting on the most, and the thing that I want to talk about the most because of the current conversations going on. It's a weird place to go after I said I feel like a potato, but I just feel so hot and bloated right now. Anyway, but there are a lot of conversations going around about size, inclusivity, and patterns. This has been happening in the sewing community since January. And I think it's really important that's coming to the knitting community because there are plenty of patterns that I can't knit. So to give you an idea, I have a 44-inch bust, 5'2". Yeah. But a 44-inch bust is not that big. It's a 44-inch bust is pretty average. And like my size, I fit into straight size clothing still. I'm not plus size. And so the fact that patterns barely go up to my size, or I am the last size, is an issue. And so I'm going to be more conscious going forward about what patterns I choose to knit. I'm super excited to see bigger names addressing it and changing patterns, and like Andrea Mowry, for example, who I love, and you all know I love, some of her patterns didn't go up very high, but she has started to rectify that, and it's really refreshing to see somebody who designs such beautiful things to want to include everybody and wants everybody to knit them and for them to look good on everybody. So it's really exciting. I'm going to do a better job of knitting patterns that go up past my size. This is not one of them, and I will fully admit that right now. I think it's no surprise that the no frills sweater is not a very inclusive sweater. Yeah, so I'm just going to put a caveat on this that if you want to knit a no frills sweater, do it. If you are someone who the no frills sweater, it doesn't go up to your size, find a DK weight sweater. I almost did this because if I didn't get gauge, and I didn't want to change my fabric. I was just going to find a DK weight sweater. Honestly, you could probably use the flax or the flax light. You could probably use the flax sweater from Tin Can Knits and just hold a fingering weight with a mohair, and it's a free pattern, and it's amazing. And just omit the garter panel if you wish. So that's what I would recommend doing. I almost did that because this only goes up, the finished measurement is like 52, and you're supposed to have like 8 inches of positive ease or something like that. So it's like, sorry that I have like, it's just one of those things. And I also want to point you to, Jacqueline, who is the designer behind the Ursa sweater. She has amazing resources. Born and Raised Knit has amazing resources right now. The Fat Squirrel has always had amazing resources about modifying patterns. So yeah, I just encourage you to do that, and for straight size people to understand that this is incredibly frustrating. So, and as somebody who is a straight size person but is on the larger end of that scale, it's still very frustrating. So, with that being said, I am knitting the No Frills Sweater by PetiteKnit, and this is where I'm at. I'm still in the increase section. Oh, the air just kicked on, thank goodness, it's so hot. Okay. I'm in the increase section, like here's the sleeve. I still have to increase by like 30 stitches. So, it's on a 32-inch circular, because that's my preferred length, no matter what size of thing I'm knitting, whether it's a huge Stephen West shawl or not. I prefer 32-inch cords. It's just more manageable for me. But yes, so this is Stress Knits yarn. It is my singles base. This is the Sweet Disposition colorway. It's actually pretty accurate, just surprising. Sweet Disposition on my singles base and on my cloud base. And my cloud base is my 74% Surrey alpaca, 26% mulberry silk base that a lot of dyers are using, and I'm so happy because I think everybody should have at least one skein of this if you're not allergic to alpaca. This is such a great substitute for mohair. I prefer it over mohair. Mohair doesn't bother me, but I think the fabric that this creates is just so dreamy and squishy, and I am just so, I'm over the moon. It feels like velvet. That's what it feels like. It feels like velvet. I want everybody to have this in their lives because it's a dream. Like, this will not be the last sweater that I knit with my cloud base held with something else. I love it that much. I'm so excited to wear this with jeans. I'm excited to wear it with skirts. Excited to wear it with leggings. I think I'm going to knit it a little bit longer than it calls for so that I can wear it with leggings. Yeah, so highly recommend. I love my Sweet Disposition colorway. It is my ride or die colorway. It was one of my first repeatables that I kept around, and I've kept around since the beginning. This was in my first year of dyeing. And I remember being in our apartment, and I remember sprinkling some dyes, and then I looked at it, and then the base color in this, which was not on this originally, is my Jam dye stock. So I looked at it and I was like, I'm just gonna dump some of this in here, and it made the colorway, and it reminds me of one of my favorite songs. And I will talk more about Sweet Disposition in a blog post that I'm currently writing about my mixtape collection and all of the colorways that are based off of songs. So I'm really excited to share that with you because music is a huge part of my life. It's a huge part of my relationship with my husband. We met in middle school band. That's how we met. We were in the percussion section together, and we have shared music our entire lives. So it's a big deal. And Sweet Disposition is one of those songs that I showed him that he fell in love with. And yeah. So big fan. But yes, I love it. I love how wide the neck is gonna be. I'm like really excited about that. It's I am super excited. I wish that PetiteKnit would expand her sizes. That's just how I feel. Okay. Yes. I love it. I do. I really do. But this would be just as gorgeous in a flax light. Or just a regular flax. Flax light is the sweater that I knit for Liza. That's why I'm like... Okay, so there is that. And that's what I'm working on today. This is what's making me happy right now, just because I love the fabric. I need to cast on my boxy sweater, which I will cast on after I finish my weekender probably. I need to finish my Ronin. It might be the only project... Esther wants to come inside. It might be the only project that I don't finish for my year of Andrea. If I cast it on in February, and it's a very large sweater, I will have it done by fall. Other stuff just is taking priority so that I have photos of my yarn for my shop and samples for my show. That Eliza's birthday is in 2 weeks. It is 2 weeks from today. Just nuts. Yeah. So I need to knit her a sweater. I also need to start on my test knit for... She really wants to come inside. She just went outside. She's fine. She does that when she realizes that I'm recording. Otherwise, she'll stay outside all day. So I'm not worried. Yeah, so I need to start doing my mini magpie tendency test knit. I'm knitting that for her birthday, so I'm going to start that probably next week. I just need to figure out what colorway. I might do my leftover of Dahlia for that, and then I also just want to knit her open front cardigan, so that's coming. Maybe I'll have a finished object of one of those to show you next week. Baby knits are pretty fast, and I mean, she's turning a year old, but she was born 6 weeks early, if you are not aware. My daughter was born 6 weeks early, and she wears 3 to 6 month clothing still. She's very tiny. She's only 17 pounds. Yeah, so it's nice because like I've had my baby for so long. It's been really great, but she's starting to walk. She took 2 steps the other day and I was bawling my eyes out because it's crazy, and there's just this tiny little person who shouldn't, I don't know, it's weird. It's just driving me nuts. But what else is new? This wouldn't be my podcast if my dog wasn't driving me crazy. I started reading Stay Sexy and Don't Get Murdered. It's actually what's propping my phone up so that I can record. It's fine. I'm telling myself that, not so much you. What else am I doing right now? So it's not always super easy. Part of me is thinking about just like walking with you and going to get her. If she does it more, I will. So it's not always super easy for me to get to the gym. One small child. Doug works during the day, Tuesday through Saturday. We have 1 car, so it's hard. So let's go get Esther real quick. Come with me in my house to go get Esther. It's a little messy, don't judge. So it's a little hard for me to always get out and hype up. To get out and go work out. So I've been looking up things that I can do at home that I can do in like 20 minutes, half an hour. And so what I found is bar, which I don't really like talking about working out. I don't really like talking about what I'm eating now. Like, I don't like that because I hate diet culture and fitness culture. It's really toxic and also makes me feel really bad about myself. But I really enjoy working out and I enjoy eating things that make me feel good. So, bar though. I danced for almost 10 years of my younger life, and it's something that has always made me feel confident. Somebody went by on their bike. This is my dog Esther. So it's always something that's made me feel confident. It's made me feel energized. It just makes me feel so good. And so barre, there are a few free workouts on YouTube, which is what I've been using, because I still have my gym membership and I don't want to add another membership on top of that. So I've been doing that like 3 times a week, and it just feels so good. It's dance warm-ups. It's a lot of squatting, a lot of arms, which is what I love. And it's just, it makes me feel good. It's making me feel like a whole person again. It's reminding me how much I love movement. So that's been an amazing discovery. If you are a dancer and you're looking for a home workout, highly recommend barre on YouTube. The first time I did it, I could only make it through like the first 20 minutes of the 30-minute workout because it's a lot of squatting. I think 15 minutes of those 20 minutes was just squatting, and it hurt. And Eliza woke up and I was like, I'm not doing this for another 10 minutes. But it's been really great, and I really love it. I'm gonna do it during her second nap today, so I'm really excited. What else is going on? Shop update stuff. So if you are not interested, feel free to leave. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you next time. If you haven't already, subscribe. I'm really hoping to hit that 4,000 subscriber mark pretty soon and have a giveaway. Sorry. It's gonna be a pretty cool giveaway, so I'm super excited about that. So once we hit 4,000, we will chat about that. But yes, so if you are interested in the shop update, there's a lot going on. So I still have pre-orders up. I just finished dyeing the last round of pre-orders. There's a bunch on the table that I need to label and stuff, but all the other stuff outside is going to be dry today. So I'm going to label and get everything ready to ship tomorrow. Yes, so if you've pre-ordered, it should be on the way or it's coming tomorrow. It's going to the post office tomorrow, so it should be to you early next week if you are in the States, which I think almost everybody was, this update that I haven't already sent out. So that's going on. That's going to stay up until Wednesday. So on Wednesday it'll come down at some point, probably close to mid-morning. It's gonna come down because on Thursday, June 6th, there is going to be the last round of advent calendars. So I have my full advent calendar. I have a 7 days advent calendar, and no. I have the full advent calendar, which is the 24 mini skeins, 1 large skein. I have the 12 days, which is just 12 mini skeins, and then I have the week of celebration, which is 7 mini skeins. But I had a few people email me, and it's also been a conversation about people who celebrate Hanukkah feel like they want something like the advent calendar, and originally I wanted to take the year and really, I don't know, I felt like an imposter. I'm not Jewish, and so I was like, I want to see if other people do this who are Jewish, and the people that I have seen do it are not, to my knowledge. So I was like, okay, and the people who are celebrating Hanukkah have been excited about those who are doing it, even if they're not Jewish. So I was like, okay, so like I emailed some people back and I was like, I can totally do this. I will have just a regular 7-day mini option, and then I'll have the Hanukkah option, which is the 7 mini skeins plus 1 large skein. The large skeins will be different from the advent calendar and the Hanukkah advent calendar. I don't know what else to call it. Yeah. So it'll be a separate listing. Everything in my advent calendars is not necessarily Christmas based, it's more winter based. Winter is my favorite time of the year, and I also know that not everybody celebrates Christmas. People don't celebrate at all, they just live their lives, and that's perfect. But I just always wanted to make sure that people don't feel left out, so this is a way for me to do that and include more people. And since it's a pre-order, it doesn't, if nobody wants it, then nobody wants it, and I'm just glad that I had that option out there for people in case that they do. Yeah, so that's what's going on in the shop. I'm so excited. SSK prep is still heavy. I had a 12-hour dye session the other night doing pre-orders, and I only got like 80 skeins dyed in 12 hours. So it's hard when you only have two like the number 2 heat sources, because we haven't even touched the basement yet, which is where I will eventually dye yarn. But it's just not on our radar. We really need our office cleaned out and our kitchen redone. So that is on the plan for the summer. What else is going on? Tomorrow is Eliza's NICU reunion. We were in the NICU for 2 weeks. It was like 2 weeks and some change, and yeah, so she was born the 14th of June, and she left, both of us left the hospital the 30th of June. So we were there for a little bit. It could have been so much worse, but I'm so excited to see our doctors. I'm excited to see our nurses, especially our nurse who is like our main person. So I'm excited to see her. It's gonna be really exciting. So but with that, I'm going to get going and just knit until nap time's over, and then we're gonna go for a walk. So I will talk to you next week. Patrons, look for that video up today or tomorrow. I'm really excited about it. Super excited for the whip down. So I hope you like it. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please like and subscribe so that other people can find me. And yeah, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.